Yo, 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 welcome everybody to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to a very special night here tonight in Saudi Arabia. The TCR Grand Prix has returned for the 9th seasonal event here in TCR. If this is your first TCR Grand Prix, buckle up because we have a lot of racing and a new format, or not new, it's unique to the TCR Grand Prix. And we're going to start out with a one-shot qualifying, a 5-lap heat race, and we're going to have 3 rounds of that to set the grid for the 50% race. The TCR Grand Prix is back here in the Elite Series after missing out last season. It was canceled, and it is returning here tonight for the 9th time in its history. Welcome, everybody. My name is Seafreeze, and I will be bringing you guys through tonight's proceedings. We're live on both the YouTube and the Twitch. I encourage you guys to watch on your preferred platform, and we should be hopefully joined by my co-commentator of Zionicle, last season's Silver Class champion, in just a few minutes. We're going to start off with a one-shot qualifying. And I got my eyes on the reserve driver, a 2-time winner of the TCR Grand Prix, and a 5-time Platinum Class champion of B-Tom. He's reserving here in the Williams here tonight. And it is so nice to see a full 20 drivers out on the grid for the GP. This format works best when we have 20 drivers out on track. So this will set the grid for the 5-lap heat race. The person who gets the one-shot quali pole right now will get 1 additional point. The usual suspects going up towards the front. B-Tom. You got the 2 Alfa Romeos. Lawrence is also here tonight. Now only the top first person will get an additional point, and it looks like that might go to Forzan. He's going to come across the line. Will he claim pole for the heat race? Yes, he will. So an additional point for Forzan, as we have a few disqualifications. And our first one-shot quali is complete. And this is very exciting. We haven't been able to really do this format in a little while, especially first TCR Grand Prix in a long time with 20 drivers. It was so cool to see in the attendance sheet tonight. We had like 23 or 24 drivers checked in. That's how it should be. That's how it used to be, and you know, we can kind of blame the game of last game and even this one last season as to why we didn't get many attendees. But this is how it's always used to been with the TCR Grand Prix. Everybody wants to compete in it and give them a shot, give them a ticket to go and win the TCR Grand Prix. It is our iconic race that you would want to win. You want to slap that right on the top of your resume and say, you know what, I'm a TCR Grand Prix winner, and this format is very grueling. We're going to be here lots of racing before we get to the 50% race. And first time the GP's been set here in the Saudi Arabia street circuit. Last season it was supposed to be set at Singapore, but that was canceled due to low attendance. But it's really nice to have this format back. Now, when we're coming in here for the 5-lap heat race, there's some points up for grabs as well. So if you finish first in the heat, you get 3 points. If you finish second, you get 2, and if you finish third, you get 1 additional point. And then there's also an additional point for the fastest lap overall. You don't have to be in the top 10. You just have to be get the fastest lap. So points are on board here, and the last remaining 5 drivers will get eliminated, and that's where they'll start the 50% race later on in that feature. As we're a go here in the heat race, the Alphas get along good. 3 wide action through there is Professional and B-Tom. Everything's so far so good. Oh! GT goes for a spin. He gets tagged by, it might have been KD, and that's going to pretty much eliminate him out of this first round unless there's a bunch more carnage. We still do have a few laps, 5 laps to settle this thing, so you never know what could happen. Now it's crucial for the drivers in the mid-pack. You don't really want to do too much because remember the top 3 only get points. So the big objective here, just get on to the next round is what you want to do. This is your qualifying format. Battle in there, FND, GTM Whisper, that's F1 Nerd on the inside. These guys are right on that bubble, and the Aston Martins are safe right now, but right in the drop zone is the AlphaTauri and Bats Plus. He's gone through a few TCR Grand Prix himself over the seasons, so I'm sure he knows the situation. Oh, and you know what? He got hooked up on that curb, and his car kind of got flattened there. That's going to drop him a few positions. Apprentice, yes, eventually we'll get to the 50%. We got 3 rounds of this, so this is Q1. The from 16th on back get eliminated, and that's where we'll start the 50%. And then we got 2 more rounds of 50%. So lots of racing, one-shot qualies, additional points for grabs, and the top 3 look pretty good. Now, if you're in a position like Beatum or Kluka, you might want to try and push for the top 3 because you get an additional point. But I never really went against the points unless you were really for the championship. You wanted to grab every additional point you wanted in the championship fight. That's the mindset you kind of have. But the more the mindset you should be having is, how do I get on to the next round? And how do I get the best qualifying you can as possible? Because it's very difficult to make overtakes here. And with 20 drivers here tonight, I'd prefer to start up front. And Bats Plus is out. Oh, wow. I don't know if we'll see it from Camden. He might be too far back to get up there. But Bats is going to start P20 for the GP, and as his car is removed from the track. Very unpredictable. Both Haas's in the drop zone. GTR Lion after getting that contact with KD. But Raikkonen and Giggle, they're still within contention to maybe pass these Aston Martins. Now that they got the DRS, they know they need to get bumped up here. Yeah, no, Apprentice, this is our TCR Grand Prix, so I don't know if you ever competed in one when you raced back with us, if you know, back way then now. It's been a little while. But yeah, we've been running this event since Season 8, back on 2019. And yeah, we have, oh, a big spin there, FND. Half spin. And he's going to get into the bottom 5 of the drop zone. His tires are probably heated now, and that promotes Giggle right up into promotion. Yeah, we've run this event since Season 8. We've done the one-shot quali 5-lap heat race, and we kind of do 3 rounds of that. And that kind of sets the grid for the 50% race. And it's kind of our unique format for the TCR Grand Prix. It's the race you want to win in TCR, and it's a unique format. The race isn't much different. It's a 50% race. As look at Raikkonen. He wants to get moved up here. He sees an opportunity. And you still got those Aston Martins there fighting. That's Rockstar and Charles. Nice run on the Ferrari. He's going to look outside. Ooh, that's a lovely shot there. Oh, FND goes for a dive on the Raikkonen. Maybe he wants to get back up there, but these drivers are all fighting. We're on the last lap of the heat race. Who is going to get to the next round? As F1 Nerd loses a few positions there to Rockstar and Whisper. Ooh, a little bottleneck. Some carbon fiber getting sprayed everywhere. And Raikkonen a half a wing. He's not going to be able to hold these drivers up. He's got a front left wing plate missing. And does Giggle and FND know about this? Let's see. As up front, fighting for the heat win. 3 points will go to the winner, 2 for second, 1 for third, and the fastest lap of the time being, if I can find it, it goes to Lawrence. So he'd get an additional point if he can keep a hold of that. But for the race win here, for the heat win, Raikkonen used to... Kimi Raikkonen used to be in the Alfa Romeo, but not our Raikkonen. He did not. Forzan goes to the line. He'll win the Heat 1. Round number 1, grab the 3 additional points. Lawrence in second. He'll grab himself 2 points. Silent in third. As we go back down to the drop zone, did Raikkonen... Our Raikkonen. He might... Yeah, he will. He's going to get moved up to round 2. Even without no front wing. Good stuff there by the Haas driver. That's a fun opening round if you're Raikkonen. he worked hard for that, for sure, and he was able to move up and get to the next round. But the 5 drivers eliminated will be FND. He'll be starting the 50% race in 16th. GTR Lion will be starting 17th. Giggle will finish 18th. Camden Luca, who is possibly going for a fastest lap. We'll see if he can take a point away from Lawrence. He'll be starting the Grand Prix in 19th. And Bats Plus DNFing will be 20th. The good thing for Bats Plus is if it was a setup issue, Parc Fermé is off throughout the entire night. So you can change your setup all day long. And that's kind of the intention of this Grand Prix format as well. All throughout tonight, you know, Parc Fermé is off. It's clear weather too, although we're in Jeddah, so it's probably going to be dry regardless. So you have an opportunity to use your quick 5-lap time trial setups throughout the format, and then you could always switch it later on if you wanted to go to a race. More towards a race setup, but usual suspects out in front. Your championship leader Forzan will grab the heat win, 3 additional points, and they'll move on to the next round. Let's see who got that fast lap. It was actually Lawrence. He did grab it. Let's see if Camden Luca got anywhere close to that. It was a 28.036. And Camden was about half a second off, so womp womp womp. Now the next round is where it gets difficult, because another 5 will get removed. And this top 10 looks strong. I mean, this top 10 is probably some of the quickest drivers. They all belong there. These 5 down here, they got their work cut out for them. No disrespect, I'm just, can't take away anything from the top 10. They very strong drivers. Alright, and we should be ready to go for the next round. This was always the funnest part, the one-shot 5-lap heat races. Brings you back to kind of that open lobby style. But you can't exert all of your energy in the heat races because at the end of the day, this is just qualifying. To get the TCR Grand Prix win, you got to win the 50%, which is 25 laps around Jeddah. But I will say the quali here does matter. It's mattered in a lot of the Grand Prix and formats we've had in the past. Starting up front is just kind of where you want to start these things. Usually when we have the GPs, it is set to clear weather, so you don't have weather to deal with. Parc Fermé's off throughout the entirety of it. So for that, it opens the door for setups, the closer field. When you have 20 drivers in a competitive field, usually the tracks we pick are intended to be those that provide close racing. Jeddah is very hard to, besides Sector 1, which you can move away from drivers with the DRS slipstream effect, hard to kind of bring drivers away from you. But yeah, here we go. One-shot qualifying for round 2. Also, very easy to invalidate on some of these corners. Maybe not through this section particularly, because you got the walls, but Just Jose, who's been pretty much right on form the last few weeks, having race-winning speed, sees himself 15th, but he's climbing the leaderboard here up to 11th. Very close to the wall on exit. Now, he might not have the best lap here, and he might know that throughout this lap, but you want to try and get something close to top 10 to give you an opportunity to move on to the next round, if that's best case scenario. Silent dropping a few positions here too, and then moving back up. Up to 5th. One more corner left. It's a hard braking zone, hairpin. And Forzan is gonna get another one-shot quality pole. He'll grab an additional point, and he'll start first for heat race in round number 2. Another good lap there by Forzan. I'm not sure what the record is for how many points someone's grabbed in a TCR Grand Prix qualifying event, but Forzan's setting the record pretty strong so far. He pretty much just missed out on that fastest lap last round during the heat. Remsley and Beam are good laps by them, 3rd and 4th. Charles able to get himself into the top 10. Jose just sees himself right on that outside looking in. And Rockstar was disqualified. He's got his work cut out for him if he wants to advance to the top 10 and move on to round 3. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a special event for us, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button and giving us some support. Share it out if you think anyone might be interested. Show them some TCR. Just a quick little note. Tomorrow, we're going to start some IndyCar on iRacing. It won't be streamed, although I know personally I will be racing, and I'll be streaming it from my point of view. So if you want to see me crash out in the first lap, you can watch it from my YouTube channel. But I'm sure a lot of drivers will be streaming or posting their point of views. So the best place to find that is in our Discord, where we are the most active. Links are all in the description if you want to sign up for TCR. Round number 2, heat race, is about to begin. And Forzan gets a good start. He'll lead the field, Lawrence, and now we have a yellow. It's Remsley spun around. Last heat race, it was his teammate spun around in this corner coming up, and now it is Remsley. He sees himself in 15th spot. Coming through here, woo! Get yourself situated. Who's that outside? Oh, Charles got that all wrong. I think he might have some damage. He does not, but significantly off the pace. Jose's in 13th. He's still on that drop zone. This is where it gets dicey. Oh, big wreck. Haas of Raikkonen and Rockstar around. F1 Nerd. Let's see if he's okay. Looks so far so good. And all that carnage promotes Remsley up to 10th, but he gets that chicane terribly wrong. That's going to give Charles another go-ahead. Just when you think you're out, you got to keep on going, and that's what Remsley just did. And someone just pitted, and that's going to be Whisper and Remsley as well. He's got a broken wing. Oh, and he almost crashed out. So he'll get himself a new wing. Whisper will get a new wing. They're going to probably compete for the fastest lap. Rockstar actually just DNF, so he doesn't even. I guess he's not keeping track of points. Right on the drop zones, F1 Nerd, and look who made a mistake, Jose. And he is moving up, is F1 Nerd, up to the top 10. So lots of jostling for position, but it's going to be between F1 Nerd and Jose, and you have Sir Charles right up the road, and those will be the ones fighting to move on to the next round. Back up front, it's the quick guys, Forzan, Lawrence. They are going to be ones to watch throughout this entirety of tonight. Silent gets himself back up to the top 3. Here comes Lawrence. He's gonna stay behind for the time being. This top 5, top 6, top 7, they look pretty good. And that's where you got that DRS train, which when we get to the 50%, oh, it's gonna mean something. Silent is a former TCR Grand Prix winner, and he is the defending TCR Grand Prix winner. He last won back in season 15 when we ran it at Monza. Last season we did not run the GP, so he is still the reigning defending TCR Grand Prix champion. We'll see. I think he has a good shot here tonight. Showing some good speed through the heats. As we go down to the drop zone, Jose sees himself up to 9th, Sir Charles in 11th, but that might change as he's looking inside. Oh, a little bit of a tangle, and they continue on, but it's going to be Charles, then F1 Nerd. Definitely contact there, but they continue on. I wonder if Raikkonen is still, I don't know, it's going to be hard for him to move up to the top 10. But he does see Sir Charles right there, so I mean, it is possible. Oh, and B-Tom is out. What did I miss? I looked away for what my computer just went down on the right of me. And the next thing I know is he's out of the race. What is going on? I just was looking at the comments. I was making sure the stream was up, and I think it still is. Or maybe we aren't. Let me see if we are. We're still live. Yeah, we're up here. Interesting. So a two-time winner of the GP is out, and he'll start 14th. I'm gonna have to look back on that to see if we get a visual, but yeah. Very shocking there. That promotes Raikkonen. And he's trying to go around the outside of Sir Charles when he really doesn't need to. He's got F1 Nerd for the fight right behind him. Coming on the last lap. Raikkonen's still on that barrier. Barrier to entry. And Lawrence will win this heat race with Silent and Beamer. Forzan finishing in 5th. I wonder if he had an issue when with B-Tom. I apologize for that, missing that. I really do. But it looks like Raikkonen And Charles will be able to move on to the next round. F1 Nerd will be the one eliminated. So that's going to do it. So apologies. I had to make sure my dog kept on barking. So the fastest lap went to silent that time. So Rockstar will be starting 15th. B-Tom will start 14th, which is a two-time winner of the GP and five-time champ. So he'll have his work cut out for him. Remsley into 13th, Whisper in 12th, and F1 Nerd narrowly missing out. He'll be in 11th. Prado says, who's taking pole? Yeah, I mean, Forzan looks strong. I mean, he had an issue in the heat race, which cost him getting that win in the heat. Lawrence got it, but I think he should be able to manage getting the pole position. I think for the one shot, he might be fine. Oh, look who we got here. Season 16 Silverclass champion Zionicle, welcome to the CoComs. A little late, but better late than never. Welcome to the TCR Grand Prix.
Yeah, sorry about that sea freeze. But if it's going to be a week to get in late, I suppose, I'm going to have the most left to commentate when it's the TCR Grand Prix. So.
Exactly. Well, let me see if I can send you an invite.
I should be popping up in the friends list any second.
Sweet. Alright, don't see it yet, but we'll give you a second.
Just got into the main menu. That might be what triggers it. Yeah, communicating with online services should be good now. If you want to check again.
Oh, well, we're going right into it, but it is the one shot, so that's okay. We can wait 1 minute here. I don't know why my volume's so low on these cars. I think I lost game audio now. The stupid glitch game. Ah, man, it might come back at some point tonight. Oh no. Nah, it's back. It's back.
There we go. There we go. That wouldn't have been good. And I just got the invite. Thank you very much. Joining up now. So,
sweet.
Who do we have?
So you didn't miss much, although you did miss much. We're into the one-shot quali.
B-Tom, Bats, and Rems out already, though. That's quite surprising.
GT as well in the first round. So we're down to the final 10. The one-shot quali Forzan is been picking these up left and right. He might be able to start on the heat for first. Give him the best chance to get that pole position, but we'll see. One more corner. It's going to be the Alfa Romeos, who look very strong, as well as Lawrence. Those three. And it's going to remain in that order.
Those three seem to have the dominant pace so far. That doesn't surprise me too much as I join up on the server now. What I will say is it seems Kluka is quite fast too. I know B-Tom was talking him up pre-race.
Alright, so Forzan grabs another one-shot quali. He grabs himself another point.
Oh.
Now, what's interesting in this heat race is that every position matters. In the other heats, it didn't really matter if you were running 7th in the first round. You weren't going to get points, and you weren't going to get eliminated. So you just wanted to move on to the next round and just kind of float and get to the next round. In this round, every position matters because that's where you're going to start the 50% race, which will be coming up after this final one. Another thing in the format, as the format goes, the winner of this heat will grab 5 points. Second place will grab 3, and third place will grab 1 point, and then again a fastest lap for the an additional point for the fastest lap overall. Well, in the top 10, so an additional point there. So this is it.
Yeah, should be quite good. Forzan with a hell of a lap, it must be said. 4/10 ahead of second place. He does have pace here.
Heat number 3 and round number 3. And let's do it. Forzan again will lead them into one. It's Silent and Lawrence. And it will be Lawrence, then Silent, Jose, and Professional. The Mercedes behind them. KD and Beamer, couple Red Bull pairings. Kluka will be in the 10th position. And so far, so good. And Raikkonen and Sir Charles, these two have been battling all through tonight. And great racecraft, great acknowledgement of where they are in the race, because they've been on the borderline for the first 2 rounds, and they see themselves to Q3. So good job to the two of them. They have not had it easy.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if we get any more battles from them right next to each other, so you'd have to assume so. Kluka, down in 10th, didn't have a great quali lap. He'll be hoping to bump up a few spots at least. And Professional,
Beamer
Jose,
and
that
KD. Beamer and KD, wow.
Did they come together? I didn't see.
They did touch, but they're still going. And they might have tapped again. And these two have had history in previous races.
Yes.
Earlier on in the season they have. I believe that was back at possibly Bahrain, if I remember correctly, as
I do
KD
remember.
coming down.
Ooh!
Oh yeah, this is personal now.
Yeah, this is. I worry about how this may go for the rest of the race. These two very closely matched, and yeah, as you said, early in the season came together a bit. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they can keep it relatively clean. As, yeah, that's the second time Beamer's gone off in the first sector. Right there, but still staying ahead of KD. Like I was saying, though, this Merc pair doing pretty good in 4th and 5th, sitting right behind that leading trio that we've been talking about today.
Yeah, and Jose, he didn't have the best round 2, but he did enough to get into round 3, and that's all that matters. So he's up there starting, in the top 5, which he'd love to start there. Forzan though, 1.4 seconds the gap out in front. I mean, he is strong.
Yeah, he's got some mighty pace, and it seems like he's just been turning it up the further we get in. 1.6 ahead now as Lawrence and Silent are fighting for that second position. Silent has a lot more ERS, it must be said.
And here comes Jose. This brought Jose into the mix. And he's been very impressive, and I know a lot of people have noticed that, and I'm really looking forward to tonight because anything could happen in the GP with 25 laps around Jeddah, safety cars, a full 20 grid, a couple drivers starting out of their ideal positions. I wouldn't just circle Forzan or Lawrence, but I mean, you definitely could, but it could go a lot of different ways.
It is Jeddah. Anything could happen. It'll definitely be interesting. Yeah, this battle for second is going to be awfully close down the stretch because Jose and, let me check professionals ERS, both of them at decent ERS relative to Lawrence. Lawrence could end up going as low as 5th if he doesn't play this very well at the lowest battery of any of the 2 to 5 cars. Silent with the fastest lap under a second now to Forzan now that he's gotten in clean air.
Yeah, and he's doing it at the right time because let's see how he does in this first sector. Sometimes you gotta learn how to close the gaps at the right time. You don't want to get too close to where you get that dirty air effect, and he did actually a good job at staying right around a second, right underneath, and I think he'll get that DRS down the back stretch. Oh,
and we've gotten incident in sector 1 or 2, or just a false alarm there, maybe.
Yeah, not too sure, but Kluka did, I think, pit, possibly. Yep, he did, and I think he's going to try and go for a fast lap to grab an additional point. So he'll be starting at least, he'll be starting 10th unless anybody crashes out.
Well, yeah, Silent is going to get the double serving of DRS here, and he's going to make it a tight last lap. It's going to be down to a few tenths by the time they get to turn 1. And Jeddah is definitely a place where you don't mind being a close second going into the final lap of a race.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be leading the train. Not in this game. As Jose, for a moment, side by side with Lawrence, as we're on the final lap. Who's going to get pole position to start the 50% feature for tonight's TCR Grand Prix and grab those 5 additional points to their name? Forzan has a big, tall order if he wants to stay and grab this pole position. He's got a whole train behind him with DRS coming for him.
You definitely would have to imagine they won't go too hard here, though. The pair of Alfa Romeos, you'd imagine they both want pole, certainly, but you know, if they had any sort of incident here and drop down positions, that would be the worst case scenario here when they could just lock out the front row pretty comfortably. Silent pushing though, it's gonna get close at the end.
I disagree.
It'll be all about this last corner.
These guys are racers, and Silent's going to go for it in the hairpin, I guarantee you.
It's all going to be about this last corner. I don't think he'll be close enough. Maybe. Ooh!
Oh, it's getting close.
Oh, can he get the better exit, though? No. With the dirty air, it'll be tough, and I think Forzan is going to have this.
Yeah, yes he will. Forzan will grab those 5 additional points, and he'll start on pole position for the 50% race. Really, job well done in this qualifying format, unique to TCR. Grabbing lots of points here tonight to help his championship case. Jose grabs an additional point. He'll start 5th because he got the fastest lap, although Kluka is up on his time. And he did pit. He got some fresh soft tires. And will he be able to beat the fastest lap of Jose of a 27.9? Excuse me. The numbers are mixing up on me. It's getting late, guys.
He'll have his whole battery to the line. We will see. I don't. Oh, and he does get it. Nice. Just by 0.3. No, well done. Well, if that's a peek at what we're going to get at the front of the pack, I am certainly excited about what this race is going to hold.
So this is your first TCR Grand Prix, Zionicle.
Yeah. I didn't make it for the gold Grand Prix last year, yeah, I definitely didn't want to be driving around Jeddah. I am awful at this track. This is maybe my worst track in the F1 game. Definitely bottom 3 though. Did some 5-lappers the other day, and it was nothing to write home about for sure.
I've always said, you know, it's a tough format because up to this point we did at least, 15 laps, for these drivers who made it to round 3, 15 laps, I guess 18 if you count the one-shot qualies. So that's a lot of laps. And now we get to do a 50% race. So it's almost a 100% race. Because we did 18, the 50% is 25, so it's what, like a 90%, 85% race? If you
yeah, nice little 90%er here. Definitely testing the endurance of these drivers, and when you're taking the small breaks in between, you could probably argue that it's a benefit or a hindrance. Taking even longer time-wise, and you got to get in and out of that groove, certainly going to be a test of focus.
Now, just a little history for those who, while we do have some downtime, because they're going to be setting the grid for the 50% here. The TCR Grand Prix was first started back in Season 8, and the actual idea around this was to make Monaco great. Because that's where we first started it at. It was at Monaco, and we did this format to bring a little bit of spice to the Monaco format, because for those who do watch the Monaco Grand Prix, the big hype around it is the qualifying. So we wanted to spice up the qualifying format and have some points up for grabs, and a format there that'll make qualifying unique to Monaco, and then the original 50%. And we did do that. That was back in Season 8.
Oh, it's got me in it. It's got me in a car. Wait, how do I get out of the? Do I have to leave the lobby?
No, just hit spectate.
Oh.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Spectate. Yeah, there we go. My bad, cakes.
But yeah, Season 8 was back on F1 2019. Sequit was the first winner of the GP. That was back at Monaco. Then we went to Austria for 2 seasons. Then we went to Brazil for 2 seasons. Then Bahrain for 2 seasons. Season 15 was Monza. Last season was supposed to be Singapore, but that was canceled. And then we return to Saudi Arabia. There's 2 winners who have 2 TCR GP wins, both champions. That is your Season 6 Platinum Class champion of Go-To Guy. He won back in Season 9 and 11. And then you have this 5-time Platinum Class champion of Taz, or B-Tom. He won 2 TCR Grand Prix, both at Bahrain, which was Season 13 and 14. So, lots of champions who have won this previous event. And unfortunately, it hasn't been me yet. I've actually never performed well at the TCR Grand Prix. I think my best finish was 6th, so we don't get along quite well.
And I'm just double checking here, Freeze. Did you see Professional say that he needs the grid? I'm sure he should probably be able to figure it out. I mean, 10 to 20 is in the announcements, so he just have to get the 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'll get that from right
order.
Here.
1 second, by the way, Freeze. I'm gonna go grab some water. I came in straight here when I walked in the door.
No worries. So if you're just joining us now, this is the 9th seasonal TCR Grand Prix tonight. We are just waiting for the grid to get set, and we'll be going into a 50% race.
Oh, all right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Professional saying, hopefully I didn't mess up the grid. Yes, hopefully. Would be an unfortunate error. I'm excited here, though. What are you thinking for the podium here, Seafreeze?
Ooh, yeah, that's right. We're kind of going right into it now that all that's done with. Yeah, I'll say. I mean, I think Forzan showed some nice speed. Lawrence and Silent. I mean, those 3, I think, are going to have a real shot. I think the only thing that could hurt them is them, right? If they have an issue, it is Jeddah at the end of the day. High speed, high commitment corners, especially towards, I think it's turn 16, or I don't even know now with all the how they track the corner numbers. Let me get the proper one here. the high-speed one that goes to the back. Let's see what corner number that is. That would be turns. I don't know. It's too blurry for me.
Yeah, I was going to say last 4 corners are 24, 25, 26, and 27. Although 25 and 26 are hardly corners. That's obviously full on the gas.
You know, it would help if the F1 games, you know, that mini map in the bottom right that we all have, why can't they just put little numbers on the corner number, you know, throughout?
That would be great. That would be awesome.
I mean, I don't think that's much to ask, right? I mean, that's usually what a track map is, right? They usually track maps usually have the corner numbers.
Yeah, unfortunately, anything helpful is a big ask from Cody.
It seems like it. Because I just think, you know, I think it'd be so easy to just have the little numbers, or maybe not all of them, but at least increments of 5. If you don't want all the 27 corner numbers up there, at least you put something to reference.
Or even at least, you know, when you're spectating and you've got the full track map. I don't know. It's just, that's, yeah. It would be nice, but
yeah, even in the
corners.
Even in the when you're in the garage, you have the mini map, and they don't even have corner numbers there. So when you're practicing and you're like with your teammate and say, "Oh, I'm slow through this corner," you have to describe it. You can't even say the corner number. You're like, you know, the corner that dips down the hill, goes to a left, kind of a blind. You got the marshal standing out there right beside the crane. There's a little tree with an apple on it. You know, that one.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, the apple tree corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have to describe that corner by its actual number. That would be a shame, wouldn't it, Cody's?
Yeah. Now, God forbid, there's 2 apple tree corners. You know, then what are we gonna go by? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the end days for us, but hopefully, or thankfully, Jeddah, no apple trees around here. So, well, it's going to be an interesting grid. I would say, I certainly expect I'd say the same 3 on the podium as you. I don't even know. I'll say Forzan P1, Silent P2, Lawrence P3. I'll be vanilla. I'll go the same order as the final heat. I just think I think that's going to be a pretty solid order. But you know, if Forzan gets unlucky or makes a mistake, we could see some switches up between that top group. They've certainly got some pace.
Yeah, well, and also free tire choice as always. Now the top 3 opting for softs: Beamer, Kluka, B-Tom also on softs. Bats Plus, who could have taken a nap by the time he crashed out and by the time he started. He'll be starting on the hard tire.
Makes sense, as the last place driver with some pace, going to try and switch it up, see if he can still make some overtakes on that hard compound.
For those watching, leave your comments for the predictions, top 3 in the comments down below. I'm going to give my official predictions here. I'm going to go with Forzan for the win. He's been strong this season. He's your championship leader. The TCR Grand Prix is returning, and I think he is the guy to grab himself a TCR Grand Prix win. I think Lawrence will be up there in second. I think he'll give him a run for his money, and he definitely has a shot to win it too. But I'll put him P2. And for P3, I'm going to have to go with B-Tom. I just, you know, he's a 2-time winner of the GP. He was strong throughout the heats, besides the crash out, which I didn't get footage of. I'm still unsure about that. I'll have to watch that after the race. But I think he'll be able to get through this grid and kind of find himself up towards the front. With the DRS trains, it is hard to get away from each other, but you can really make it all up in Sector 1 in the technical bit. So keep an eye out for him, but I got him for P3.
This is interesting. A couple of the drivers talking about the lobby status right now, but it seems like we're on a formation lap, which is all good. Is the damage supposed to be any higher than normal? Because
No, I mean, I think it's... I didn't check the settings, but as long as we have the... What are they saying?
Professional asking what to do. Kluka says that he took some more damage than he would have expected during the formation lap, getting ready to drive. Professional asking what we should do here. I'm not... The problem is I'm not totally sure what is wrong with the lobby. They're just kind of saying the lobby's broke. But I don't know how that is currently. And Silent and Jose have disqualified.
Well, yeah, they're
love
not parking
that.
right here.
Love that. Love to see some people park wrong here. Okay, Beamer saying he cannot take control of the car.
Well, that's true because you know what? He did disconnect while we were joining in, so he might not be able to get into his car, and that's nothing other than untimely disconnect. We can't do anything about that.
And Kluka... Okay, we may have to restart. Kluka is disqualified, and his AI is driving around the track right now. Professional, I think, is about to...
Are they restarting the lobby?
Restart the lobby. Yeah, I think just a few too many racers having some issues currently. That is interesting, though. I'm still not fully sure what was going on, but some issues there, so. And yeah, Camden calling for the restart. Yep.
Yeah, usually, you know, we try to... Sometimes in the past we've done new lobbies, sometimes we haven't, but it is what it is. We'll start a new one. We'll keep up.
B-Tom keeping it real, saying let's skip the formation lap. This is it's gonna be interesting though. Hopefully we can get the lobby all.
Well, bad news, Zionical. I'm out of coffee, so.
Hopefully, Breeze can stay awake until we get to the end of this.
You know what? I think the best thing to do is let's start the qualifying heats and everything all over again.
Yes,
love it. Let's just start all over. You know.
Let's redo it all.
That was just a practice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run it back again.
I'm sure Raikkonen would appreciate that too. They'd love to stay up until 4 a.m. to do their to do this. And Beamer bringing it up. Redoing quality too. Well, some issues with the lobby, but still excited to get this going underway when we can. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long to get restarted.
Let's see if I got an invite here. I don't know, let me know if you get one.
Will do. I'll keep an eye. I still have not gotten one quite yet, so I think we're in the same boat here.
We need some intermission music.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
You know what would make the TCR Grand Prix greater than it already is? I think to make it a spectacle, we need a halftime show.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think right after the qualifying phase, we gotta get some performance to set us up for the 50%. I think we need to sign somebody.
Okay.
All right.
I hear you.
Okay. So
my question was gonna be before you mentioned before the 50%. I was gonna say, do we just do it at lap 15? Or lap 13?
Like during.
We just tell them to stop, and then we do the performance, and then they get it back going. But I do think your idea is a little more feasible. Freeze. I don't know if we'd be able to get.
I mean, we could do it under safety car. Just wait for the safety car. You know.
Okay. See, this is when the best ideas come out. I like this.
All right, let's see who we're missing. I think do we got Beamer? I think that's the only guy we got. We'll see if he. At this point, we'll see if everybody wants to continue to show up. Beamer's here. Lawrence is here. So we're missing one. We got
there we go. So Charles is in. Now
nice.
We got everybody.
Good job, guys. All right, let's get these lobby settings and let's get going.
Getting in quick, boys. I love to see it. Come on, Lawrence. Let's get you into that Ferrari so we can set the grid. Any day now. Well, hopefully he's setting it from P20 to down. I've never set the grid. I don't know if you can do it in that order, but hopefully we're able to get moving from there, and Lawrence will get into it by the time we're down to the podium spots.
Now, back in, I want to say the second or I think possibly the second or third time we ran the GP was at Austria, because we did go back-to-back seasons at Austria, and one of them we had dynamic weather set, and it was a rain, full intermediate wet, or and since then we kind of determined that from then on out it would be the GP would always be clear. It'd be a clear weather, race, and I think kind of the reason behind that was just to keep, less unpredictability out of the weather and the setup, and just have it. Everybody knew it was going to be dry. You'd have everybody prepare for it and kind of give your best. Close grids. We always pick tracks that are usually very close, very close for the grid. So, we've gone to Austria, which is a short lap time, lots of straights. We've gone to Brazil, short lap time, very close racing there. Bahrain, lots of straights there. Even though it's technical, a little bit long of a track, you have opportunities to pass. Monza, a temple of speed. So
love me some Monza.
Yeah.
If we ever do another TCR Grand Prix on Monza, I may have to hop out of the booth for just a quick race, because man, I love racing this track on F1. There's not a lot of them that get me going like Monza. I do really love that track. Shout out to myself, my only gold win on Monza. So bit of a bias there, but definitely love that track.
Yeah, so we should be about to be ready. He's probably professionals just probably setting the grid here. Just a couple announcements until we get to the full race. Tomorrow is iRacing IndyCar Series round number 1. It's not going to be streamed from the official TCR channel yet. Down the line at some point, that's the intention. But I know I'll be racing and I'll be streaming for my personal YouTube, as probably others will. You can find that the best way is in our Discord, where we're the most active. We have our website in the description down below. We have all the information there. You can join our Discord through there. We have a link. You can sign up for iRacing or F1 if you want to get on for the last, however many races we got in the season. Next week, where are we at, Zionical? I'll put you on the spot.
Next week, we are at China, I believe.
Okay. And I know F1 is also at China that week, so...
Always love the weeks when we match up. That it brings a little special energy to the week, I feel like.
It's almost as if I intended on that.
Wow. No, really pulling back the veil there for you.
It's almost as if.
Yeah. But I do love when you do those. Those are very fun.
Yeah, you know why? Because when F1 goes to the track, you want to also race it. You know what I mean?
You really do.
Because when they go around China this week, because F1 hasn't been at China since 2019, so I'm excited for this to see how these cars work at that track and how has the track changed, if at all. Right? I mean, the track could have just been sitting there. So how is that? The track has aged a few years. That does do something to the track and how it performs. So.
I think it could be a very good weekend too. I read some article that said in the last 4 or 5 years since we've had a race there, Chinese F1 fanship has like tripled too. So
I bet
I'd expect a good crowd there as well, and maybe Ferrari could give Red Bull a challenge too. So it could be a fun weekend overall. But getting into the lobby now, getting back in, I suppose. No, what'll be interesting to see is if anybody changes the tire that they started on. You'd imagine most of them would stay put, but maybe some of them will reconsider, having seen what most of the grid's going to go with.
Great point. Yeah, they already saw everybody put their hand down. That was the cards they were dealt. They put their cards, they showed them, and whoa, what happens if they didn't like their cards? Well, now you got to reshuffle. So they got brand new cards. I would expect a few people to change, just based off of maybe last minute strategy decisions changed in the last few minutes. You never know. Apparently there's two twins on my screen with the same shirt, and they're identical. They're doing the same thing at the same time. That's
same fist pump.
We're going right in. We really did get rid of the formation lap. Welcome to the TCR Grand Prix, the 9th seasonal event here in the Elite Series, and let's do it. Forzan by Silent. It's actually Lawrence and Silent, and back with the Mercedes. Everybody clean so far as they single file through the first sector. B-Tom's already up to 11th.
And Bats Plus did switch to the mediums. Rockstar switched to the hards. So those two switched around on the tires they're going to be on. As,
ooh, look at this. 3 wide into the hairpin, the banked hairpin. B-Tom will get 2 of them. Starting on those softs was a great idea, as it narrowly misses the front wing of Whisper.
And B-Tom is not going to be wanting to sit down in the in that middle of the pack range. He's going to be hunting to get towards the podium spots.
Here comes
will be a
Beamer.
tall task.
Beamer on. Oh, he went off the track. He was trying to get Jose, and he did. And B-Tom up to 8th. He gets Raikkonen. Man, B-Tom is on a mission. He's going to get KD.
Oh my God, he's going to get KD as well. This is all before the DRS even comes out. We still got another lap without DRS, and he's making sure to use that battery to his advantage, making up as much spots as he can. And he might as well have qualified 7th at this point, because only significant gap we have in the field is Beamer to Silent.
Yeah, so he did all that work on that opening laps. He's right back into the conversation. But he's going to get pressured just a moment there by KD. It settles out there. Very impressive. I would love to see his point of view.
And he's past Jose. That's another one.
Wow.
So let me just switch to the position changes. That is 8 positions gained in the 1.5 laps for B-Tom so far.
Yeah, biggest winner right there, and biggest loser is Sir Charles, down 10 positions. I wonder what happened to him on the opening laps. I did not see anything, but he is back with his teammate of Rockstar at 17. Remsley and GTR Lion both kind of not having the best qualifyings, 12th and 14th for the time being. Remsley will look on one McLaren, but doesn't get it done.
Yeah, those pairs of McLarens and Alpines battling it out right in the middle of the field as they both get a little sideways exiting the final corner. And Beamer with the fastest lap, he's got a bit of pace. It will be interesting to see. He's burning that battery, though, trying to catch up to the front pack to keep in DRS. While Silent... Oh, sorry.
Silent what? Yeah, he's got 90% on the battery. Looking good.
Yeah, he and Forzan are cooking up that battery, leaving it quite fresh, while Warrant's already below 50%. Although you'd have to think that Silent maybe should use that to get past Warrant soon, so he doesn't let Forzan get out of the DRS range. I think Silent appears to be a little closer to Forzan in terms of pure pace. Not to say Warrants couldn't do it here either.
You know, and it's also a big change, let's say, also, because we were just running low fuel for one-shot quali laps and 5-lap heat races. And then to throw everybody into a 50% race after running 18 laps on low fuel and then going right to heavy fuel, that's a little bit of a shift.
It really is. Early in the race, it's going to be a big difference in terms of how that car's handling. So you're going to see how who's the most apt to these adjustable conditions here with the different fuel loads. Silence, not going to get by Warrants quite yet. But yeah, this top 3 really running close here.
Yeah, I think they all know that they're in it for the long haul. They are all on the same tire, very similar speed. I think they're just going to ride for the first half of this race.
Yeah, those 3 definitely just playing ball for now. And Warrant's going to be hoping that they will continue to just run on through, and he can maybe build up that battery a bit, get back a little closer to where
Whisper.
are.
Little issue in the S section. He, just like Bats Plus earlier on in the first round of the heat race, he bottomed out on that curbing to exit out that section. And he lost the position to Kluka. Luckily, was able to hold on to it, but you'll see that a few times tonight.
And B-Tom getting towards the back of Professional. Gonna be wanting to make this move soon. The softs are still very good right now, but they won't last forever, and Professional on those mediums will be feeling comfortable. The back 2 runners on the hards definitely seems like those are really struggling at this point in the race.
Yeah, both Rockstar and Camden Luca. Camden said that I was in the party with him before starting tonight, and he just said he's not the best around this track. It's one that he's going to struggle tonight. But you know, I'd say keep in there. You never know what's going to happen. Still 20 drivers left in this race, so a couple safety cars, a couple carnages away, and you never know what can happen. Professional gets Beamer. That's for 4th.
Yeah, Beamer emptied that battery early trying to stay with the top pack. Probably a bit of a mistake. I'd expect him to get eaten alive on this next pair of straights by B-Tom, who's got a bit more battery and I think looks a little more comfortable on those softs. Although he's got Jose coming at him from the back with the mediums on good battery as well. Those mediums starting to come into their own really early in this race.
And it should be a nice, easy one stop. And I do believe you can do soft medium or medium soft. So I think the lighter tires or softer tires are good enough around here. But you know, you might see some drivers go to the hards. I just think that tire's really slow around here.
Yeah, definitely not a great first stint for proving the viability of the hards. I think you could see maybe someone like B-Tom pit a lap or two earlier than some of the soft runners at the front. Maybe try and do something with the undercut, but I do think the strategy is going to be a pretty cut and dry soft medium or medium soft, depending on what you started on. As Jose sticks it in, and is he going to make the move happen? No, looks like B-Tom's going to stay ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the outsider in that corner is usually not good. So he'll have to concede the position for the time being.
Professional, not in a terrible spot, actually, with these mediums still on decent battery, chilling just over 2 seconds behind that soft pack at the front. And man, Silent, Lawrence, and Forzan are just chilling on their battery.
Yep. Forzan's almost got both alphas are at 100% basically.
And Lawrence has been relaxing on it too, because he was down as low as 45 early in the race. So I think he's been finding his own pace without it as well. So
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, why battle all race long? You know, when you know you still have a pit stop to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no need to do anything. I mean, they're pulling away from everybody else, so you know, might as well not make any moves. You know, and to be honest, I don't know if they are in voice chat, but I'm pretty sure they all are in the Discord voice chat together. So they got communication with each other as well, which is perfectly fine. I mean, so good on them.
Yeah. I think during one of the heats, I can check again. During one of the heats, I believe Lawrence silenced himself. Pardon the pun, with his with his partner in crime down in 3. So maybe he won't be actively communicating, but he could. I do know he's in the Discord call. Will be interesting to see though when they start going for these moves, when they pit, if they all pit around the same time. Definitely this second stint going to be very interesting.
Yeah, because you know, you look at Professional up in 4th, who's having a really strong night. He's on the mediums, so obviously his speed to the top 3 is not very much comparison, because you really can't compare it. But how many butts am I gonna say? You know what I mean? I must have had something happen right then. I don't know. I might gotta get that checked out. Beamer was in 4th place, but he had the soft tires on, and he wasn't able to keep up with the top 3, so he is a little bit off the speed. B-Tom started from the back, so you can't really see what he's got. He's going to be on the opposite tire, but Professional, by the time he makes his pit stop, you know, him on the softs to end the race would look really strong.
Yeah, and B-Tom making a bit of a move to get Professional there, up to P5 now.
Yep. So those softs still moving and grooving.
Yeah, now all 5 of the top runners on the softs with that move. And Beamer, I thought, might be in some trouble after emptying that battery early. Thought he might have overworked the tires, but relative to everybody other than that top 3, certainly holding his own still.
Whoa, big wiggle by Professional. Nice save and good car control there.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be a tale of two trains for this race. We've got that top three who's been in a DRS train from the beginning, and this next pack of, I believe we've got 5 of them here, from 4 to 8, all running in another DRS train. So yeah, those the DRS quite powerful here, and you've got a few of them. So if you've got any sort of similar pace, you're going to find yourself in one of those.
Here we go, round 2 into turn 1. B-Tom.
Can he fend
Not
off
gonna
Jose?
get Beamer, but he's that's tricky there. He was trying to overtake Beamer, and he also had to defend from Jose. Look who joined the battle, KD.
KD says, I don't mind if you guys fight each other. I'm back in this race for the 4 spot now. And yeah, relative to this second pack of drivers, Professional definitely letting the race come to him a bit more. The only driver above 40% ERS, and he's all the way up at 75. He's playing a game of patience here. He's fallen a couple spots in the last couple laps, but I doubt he's panicking. When you got a driver as experienced as him, using that ERS calmly. Still plenty to play out with these 5 drivers.
And behind KD, Remsley and GT, the pairings of the Alpines, made their way up to the top 10 after having some troubles in the qualifying. So they're doing nice and swell. Raikkonen, after having a great qualifying, is right outside the points, just in 11th, but having a good race. He's fighting with F1 Nerd and Kluka. Bats Plus, after starting 20th, only up to 14th.
Yeah, Bats Plus is in a position, though. I didn't see the first heat, and I believe he crashed out quite early, so I don't totally know what his pace is, but he could be in a position to go for an undercut if his tire management is as good here as it is on some other tracks. He could definitely be an undercut candidate to skip this group of drivers right in front of him if he believes in his tire management and his pace. It'll be interesting to see these 2 Alpines, though. I wonder if they will be able to play a bit of a DRS game and whittle that 2.5 second gap down from the train in front of them.
And in that last lap, B-Tom and Jose able to pass Beamer, so a couple position changes there, although all that battling, that gap between them and the top 3 has been increasing. It's now up to 5.5 seconds.
And this is a bit of an interesting development, actually. Lawrence and Silent still both chilling at over 90 ERS. Forzan down into the 60s. Maybe he's not doing quite as well at holding this pace throughout the stint with his tires. Also maybe trying to build out a gap. But it seems like they're forcing his hand in terms of defending that first place, while Silent and Lawrence are still very, very comfortable holding those positions, playing a certainly a patient game.
Jose takes charge of this train, yeah. And as far as the battery goes, yeah, I mean, if you sit at 90 to 100, or if you're around 60, 70, you know, at the end of the lap, you kind of conserve a little bit, you use some of it, and it's sometimes not the best in terms of not using any battery, because then you're just wasting lap time. So, but in this case, it really doesn't matter, because they all know they're not changing position. They, you know, for the time being. Oh, first retirement.
And Whispers out.
But is this in? Oh, it's just in the pit lane. So.
Oh, he retired in the pit lanes. Okay, so we should be all right.
So we're good. I thought it was a on track.
Those yellow flags had me scared for a second.
So it's bedtime for someone. We are running. This is usually when we end, so we're running a little later than usual.
And yeah, like you said, 68, 70%, no problem. As Forzan's going to come into the pits, yep. Lawrence going to stay out. And yeah, Forzan will gain a lot of that battery back in this pit stop, is what I was about to say. So it won't be too big of a problem for him. As that other pair stays out, going to be interesting to see how these strategies play. You'd have to imagine they'll pit this lap. You don't want to wait too long for these mediums. I'd imagine the softs are going to be struggling pretty bad soon.
Yeah, if I'm silent, Lawrence, you probably respond next lap, and you know, they went as long as they kind of could for their strategy to play out. You don't want to go too long. You don't want to bet on a safety car, but there's still a very high opportunity for that to happen. I'm just going to say this now, just so we can start jinxing the field. Because I want some action, damn it. Really good props, and to pretty much the entire field, to staying clean for the for the whole part of this race so far.
Definitely.
Not many on-track incidents. A very difficult track to even keep it together solo, you know, and the fact we don't really have any incident DNFs, you know, it's pretty impressive, I'd say.
Some good clean racing so far, for sure. As Lawrence gets a little hairy out of that corner, and yeah, like we said, both of them going to come into the pits now. Will be interesting to see how far behind they will be behind Forzan. Let me check what Forzan's doing. I'd imagine he's going to be burning that battery, yeah, all the way down to 50% on this out lap. He's going to want to build that gap as much as possible.
I mean, it could go to the end here, so you might as well try and work on this undercut, and wow. What a great decision. Look at that undercut. 3 seconds. And
I'm wondering.
And Lawrence and Silent, they still need their tires to get warmed up here.
Yeah, and Silent just lost about a second. Oh, and Kluka crashes out. We've got a safety car. And the cars at the front are going to be right.
Yeah. Oh. They're going to have a good chance. And you know what? I don't know if it does anything in this game, but Forzan just ran over the Kluka's front wing. I don't know if he ever got any damage. Sometimes you could get damage. Sometimes I don't know.
And with where the safety car came out, I think that Forzan will be able to make up a lot of that delta on the way to the pack. Yeah, already down from 5.5 on F1 Nerd to 4. Got to be light here, though. He's feathering the gas when he can. Let's see how much this benefits that group up at the front.
Yeah, I don't know if it really will. Yeah, like you said, I think he'll still be able to get the lead here, but we'll see. Sir Charles drive-through penalty, unfortunate for him. And you know, this is when a safety car comes out. That does not mean you get to relax. I mean, you got to work with your deltas and do everything, because you got to make sure you still come out on top, just like Forzan and Lawrence.
And Jose and B-Tom both getting held in the pits. I
think it was just a glitch.
Oh, it was a glitch. Yeah. Okay, I was like, what just happened with Jose and B-Tom? They are going to be quite frustrated. Now, this is going to be interesting, because Silent, I don't know if he'll have Jose, I don't know if he'll have the pace to make it count, but the only driver on the softs for this final stint, so, of that leading six-pack.
I'd love a six-pack. A couple ways to take that right now, but yeah, I mean, you got a whole group of soft runners, and Jose is kind of mixed up there, up to 4th. So, you know, seeing how the soft runners did on the opening laps, to overtake a lot of the medium runners. I'm going to expect the same. I think Beamer and B-Tom are going to have a tough time against some of these drivers behind them. Jose should have something to work with here. This has fallen right into place for him. He's still got the safety car for a few laps, so the softs will be pretty much good to go all the way to the end of the race. So
yeah, the longer this safety car stays out, Jose's gonna love every second of it. B-Tom's gonna have a task on his hand. He's really gonna probably struggle to keep those soft runners behind for the first couple laps. So you know, if he can do that, maybe he's got something in the plans for a hunt for that front 3-pack. But yeah, Silent, Lawrence, and Forzan, even with Jose on these softs, I don't know that anybody's gonna be able to do anything to mess with them. But really, what I'm forgetting to mention is this benefits Lawrence and Silent quite a lot, because it basically makes that undercut that Forzan had irrelevant. And now they're on a lap fresher tires right behind him. And yeah, this is not going to be the last lap of the safety car, I don't think, as we have Rockstar, who is a million miles behind the pack right now.
Well, sometimes it won't wait for them, so this could actually be the last.
It could be it. I won't say for sure. Either way, though, Jose will be happy with this nice hefty safety car, and of course Silent and Lawrence will have loved the chance to get right back behind Forzan for this final shootout of 9 or so laps that we're gonna have.
Yeah, because if the safety car didn't come out, Forzan would have a nice cushion, because he worked on that undercut. He did everything he needed to do to get that gap, and it's not certain that Lawrence and Silent could close that gap back up. So they get a good opportunity, but they're gonna have Jose, race winner this season, podiums on soft tires. I'd also watch out for drivers like KD, Remsley, Professional. Even Raikkonen's been on it tonight. What do they do, towards the end of this race? How much of an advantage is this soft tire?
Yeah.
GT and Bats is on the medium, but GT rather. F1 Nerd, he won last night in the Challenger Series. Congratulations.
In another lap of the safety car, we get one more. Camden just pit again. If we get one more lap of the safety car, I know some of the medium runners might be a little frustrated with that, but this should be the last lap, regardless of whether Camden catches up or not. But yeah, I will say, when Lawrence and Silent got out after being undercut by Forzan, I thought their biggest chance would be working together, playing the DRS game, understanding that their battle was to get right back with Forzan. But even when they came out, somehow there was a 2-second gap between them. I think Silent might have botched his pit entry. And yeah, a timely safety car giving us probably what's going to be a hell of a battle for these front 3 spots. I'll also say, we've had a lot of clean racing today, but that middle pack, 7 to 12, they've got a lot to fight for all of a sudden, all on the soft tires. They're going to need to keep it careful if we don't want any incidents in another safety car before the end of this race.
Did Rockstar just go in again?
Okay, this is definitely going to piss off some of the drivers in the safety car on the mediums if this keeps happening. I will say, because I understand at a certain point pitting to switch tires, but doing it twice under the same safety car when you're holding the safety car up is definitely a move I've seen before, but it's definitely one that's frustrated me when I was at the front of the pack.
I mean, I'm a type of driver that if I'm in this situation, I would totally do it. But I know there's.
But we get the SC in anyway.
Yeah.
We get. The
I think
SC
there's a
anyway.
maximum. I think you know what? I think if everybody is together, it's 3 laps mandatory, and if it's not, it's 4 or something. You know, it's 1 extra one. But I think there's like I think we're under there for what 4 laps or so, 4 laps.
Yeah,
so.
and I gotta wonder if Rockstar is happy with that decision now that he's gonna start 15 seconds behind the front pack. Unless they hold it up, let's see how long Forzan slows it down.
Nah, he'll catch it just in time. Actually, I think so.
Forzan waited for the start, and yeah, Rockstar is gonna catch up with the back of the pack.
And he's got warm tires, and he's ready to go. So we're back green underway on the TCR Grand Prix, 9th seasonal event here for the Elite Series. And let's see who's going to claim the ultimate prize for the TCR Grand Prix win. Silent is your defending TCR Grand Prix winner. He won it back in Season 15. Last season, we did not run the event. B-Tom is a 2-time winner in the TCR Grand Prix, a 5-time champion. Will he claim victory? Or will it be a new winner? Will it be Forzan, Lawrence, Jose, or other?
Yeah, and this is going to be good. Still a little management to do, but with an 8-lap shootout, the mediums should be fine to the end. The softs should be as well, so these guys are going to be able to give almost all they've got in terms of pace.
And you know what's interesting here is that the top 3 haven't really been using any battery, and they've kind of been working together. If they continue to do that, it's going to be very easy for Jose to just drive on by.
Yeah, it's there's a lot that can happen still here, and yeah, look at those softs relative to B-Tom, who's been pretty close with Jose on pace here. He's already built up a 1.3 second gap there.
Yeah, B-Tom's going to have issues here as we have a local yellow. That's going to be FND, broken wing, carbon fiber. We have Sir Charles pitting.
And Silent right on the back of Lawrence. Lawrence losing a little bit to Forzan, though. He's really
F1 Nerd's out. F1 Nerd is
F1
out.
Nerd is out. Are we going to get a...
Oh, straight on. How does that happen? Bats Plus did that too.
And a VSC. We get a VSC.
Bats Plus crashed there in the first heat race in round number 1. I don't know how a car ends up that far off. I've never seen that on the game before. Interesting. But yeah, VSC.
Woo. We'll talk about a shootout. Gonna get to get a probably another half lap, if not a lap, of yellow flag running here too to build up some battery. And man, this should be good. Forzan will be hoping he gets a lucky time to start this VSC, though. If he does, could be as much as a second. Will just depend on when we get started with the VSC.
Drivers just got to watch their deltas here. You don't want a costly error at this stage of the Grand Prix.
And that gap's up to a second. I gotta wonder if Forzan's going a bit fast or if Lawrence is going a bit slow relative to the delta, because I believe it was around 8/10 when we got started. And there we go. The race starts back up, and Lawrence gets a good start.
Nice. Awkward timing of when it got released. Back green. Lap 19 of 25. Let's see what Jose could do. Let's see what the top 3 can do.
And this is definitely going to be a four 4-driver race to the end, at least for the podium spots. Not to say we can't get some interesting action at the in the middle of the field.
Jose's just got to get at least get silent here, because then you're gonna grab, you know, kind of double slipstream
and he's got some straight line speed, both of them with the DRS open, but Jose gaining a lot.
He's got to use everything. He's got to use battery here, and silent. What does
Silent
he do here?
really maybe should use a bit of that ERS, but he's already down to 57%. I don't know if he can.
And side by side in the last corner, and look at this. Lawrence moves over to give Silent a little bit of slipstream. Now Jose is going to have the slipstream. Does he go to turn 1? Defensive goes Lawrence. He'll have the outside, though.
Can he make the move stick? He just won't be able to.
Runs out of room. But now we're talking. The top 3 are under threat by the Mercedes of Jose, who is eager to win this Grand Prix, the TCR Grand Prix.
Yeah, and Jose's been on too much of a hot streak to get swept on by this front pack. Lawrence can't worry too much about keeping him behind, though, because he's got to stay in the DRS of Forzen.
And if Jose could get to at least second, he'll, you know, if he could get Lawrence here, then he could kind of ride around a little bit, because I wouldn't want to be the leader, you know. I think Forzen kind of knows that too. He's kind of in a hard situation too. What does he do? Forzen's got 35% battery.
Yeah, he's trying to build that gap, but Lawrence isn't letting him. Lawrence in quite a good spot here, but so is Jose. This could be a hell of a race to the finish here.
A little farther back, Beamer Professional, KD Remsley. Here comes Remsley. Here comes Beamer.
B-Tom's in the DRS to Silent, I didn't realize until just now. Although I think he may have just lost it going into that last corner. Yeah, he did.
Jose, Lawrence takes Forzen. Jose looks to Lawrence. We got...
This is some racing.
Oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the TCR Grand Prix. We're just getting started. Everything before this doesn't matter. Gloves are off now.
And a yellow flag. We get a VSC. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is going on here, this race?
A slight pause. They're just playing with their momentum here, playing with the energy.
And like we said, going into the last couple laps, second is not a bad place to be, but if Lawrence once again could get lucky with the safety car timing and that battery advantage, he could be able to build a bigger gap than the DRS.
Yeah, Lawrence got 75, Forzen about 50, Jose 70, Silent 70, B-Tom 50, and B-Tom, yeah, like you said, he's in with the top 5 here with that second. Professional has work to do, but if the top start to battle, I don't know if I would have them circled for a win, but I mean, you never know. But a podium, you still got to keep fighting if you're professional. Beamer Remsley is. We're back green. Lap 21 of 25. Here we go.
Ooh, talk about a shootout to the finish. Any one of these guys you really feel like could win it, especially within this top 4, but you can never count out B-Tom.
Forzen will take the lead of the TCR Grand Prix on lap 22. He'll reclaim it.
And I think Lawrence was all too happy to give up that spot. Didn't use any ERS really to defend it. He's chilling in second. Ooh, some mind games happening here, but also a battle to the end. They're not going to want to be in first, but they're not going to want to be in second either when the race ends. Oh,
and if
I'm
you think
glad
about
I'm commentating this one.
If you think about it, we've already done the end of the race 3 times if you count the heat races. We've done 3 5-lappers. You should kind of know where you want to place your car. That's what the 5 laps is in the heat race. You want to know, do you want to be leading on the last lap? Do you want to be in second? You know, this is the stuff you want to think about and use in those heat races. Those 5 laps is what you practice for. So when we're in the actual last 5 laps in the race, you can use that practice and experience right now where it counts.
Forzan dumping that battery all the way down to 25. Jose as well. Oh, this pack is so tight. Anybody feels like they can take it. Although Silent and B-Tom, they've got some work to do. They're going to need to make moves soon.
And this has been Forzan's downfall, I believe, in some iconic and crucial races for him in the past. His battery management has not been the best. He's down to 15%, and everyone else around him has a majority more. Yeah,
and Lawrence all too happy to keep in that second spot, build the battery through the braking zones. I think he knows he's got that gap. He's seen the blinking light ahead of him. And I think it went down to 15. I think Forzan is right now just trying to stay ahead, maybe not give it away, hold his poker face. But I believe he should have seen it on that back straight.
If he gets the light blinks when it's under at 10%.
Oh, so it's not under 15.
No, it's at 10. So as soon as he does that, he's showing his card and say, I have 10% battery. So he hasn't shown that yet. As Remsley's out of the race, he is out of the GP. He did that in the pit lane. I wonder if he had an incident with wing damage. He'll be out of the race.
Silent? Can he make the move on Jose? Jose's straight line speed's just too strong. It's just going to be tough to overtake Jose with that straight line speed and the DRS. And will Lawrence make the move? No. No, he's too happy in that second place spot. He knows what's up here.
And Lawrence has 50% of battery. Forzan, he's gonna show the light. He's gonna show the light. Will he show it? No, he didn't.
He didn't. Oh, but Jose
3 wide. What are we doing?
How is he gonna be able to stick it? Jose sticks second place.
Let's go, Jose. Gets it.
It's going to be tough to stick with Lawrence through the chicane, though. We know he's running a low downforce setup. The S section, can he hold a 1 second gap?
For the first time in this race, Forzan's under pressure, and they all crash! Jose's out! Forzan hits him.
Forzan hit him?
I'm pretty sure out of the exit of the S section, he hit him.
Oh, no! Oh, and you hate to see that. Oh, we were primed for some amazing racing to finish that out. And yep, Jose already in the chat.
Yep.
And I can understand that frustration.
He got spun. Forzan, I was just going to say, for the first time in this race, Forzan was put under pressure. He was third. He saw the GP was running away from him. He had no battery left. He was down to third. Lawrence was out in front, running away with it, and he just didn't lift at that point in time. And yeah, he hit the back of Jose, and it spun him right out, as well as it was Raikkonen, I think, spun there too and DNF'd. He was a lapped car at the time.
And I think B-Tom may be able to sneak a second place here out of seemingly nowhere. And
Beamer crashed on the straight.
Crash out of the race? What is going on here right now?
He crashed out on the straight, like as if you were on the last lap type of thing. Anywho, B-Time, he's got a 10th. Could he win the GP? Can he get his 3rd TCR Grand Prix win?
It's all about these next 2 corners. Just over a second. What will his... Oh, can he get it under just before this turn? I think he did.
Wow. If he pulls this off, this is going to be just setting him apart.
I don't know. This would
be
unbelievable.
The light's blinking. They're both blinking. Forzan still has a shot, but he might get a penalty post-race.
Down to 5/10, and I don't think Lawrence had a very good chicane. No way. Down to 4/10 going into the final corner.
What do we do in the final corner? Where do you place your car? B-Time goes inside. Oh, and he
locks
throws
up!
it!
And Forzan! Can Forzan do it? It's going to be a three-way race to the end, but I think B-Tom has it!
B-Tom is going to win the TCR Grand Prix and steal one. He grabs his third TCR Grand Prix victory by 900ths over Forzan and Lawrence. Oh my.
I think that may have been the best TCR race I have ever witnessed. What a finish. Oh my goodness. Some incidents at the end. Maybe not the cleanest racing we've ever seen in that final stint. But my goodness. What a finish.
He absolutely stole that race win.
Wow.
And he's the
Wow,
first
that is
driver
unbelievable.
to win 3 TCR Grand Prix, which I didn't have him circled to win it. I thought he'd be in contention. And Forzan having issues with Jose kind of opened the door up for B-Tom. Silent slipped through the cracks. Lawrence had so much battery, and he maybe used a little too much. I thought Lawrence was going to get it. B-Tom got into the DRS at that last possible moment. And I don't know why Lawrence didn't even stay defensive. Lawrence he went to the right for the final corner. I would have stayed left.
Yeah, you definitely went the inside there. It looked like he thought maybe a switchback would be there, but I think it was just impossible once B-Tom got a little squirrely at the final quarter, and the chat is a war zone right now.
As it should. If people aren't out heated after this long night of the TCR GP, then, you know, you should be heated. You should be mad. You should be putting tickets in. That means you guys care.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what a race. It really could have been 5 different guys you could have taken it. But,
And B-Tom 14th to 1st. Stole one from Forzan. Forzan might get a penalty, so that might promote Silent to the podium. Lawrence and Forzan missed great opportunities to grab their first win here in the GP. Professional still great. Great performance for 5th, but GT and Bats, great job to 6th and 7th after starting way far down. Same as Rockstar Giggle, getting some points. KD will finish in 10th. Camden, after struggling for the entirety of this race, narrowly misses out on a point. F&D Beamer. Couple drivers DNFing here from, I think, Beamer on down DNF'd.
and it's going to be interesting to see that incident between Jose and Forzan especially. A lot of incidents that'll be reviewed at the end. But if that incident goes through, if it was a penalty worth being served for Forzan, then we could see him fall to 4th, and that would be 13 points gained for B-Tom in the standings as we close down on these final few races.
Wow. Well, we're going to hear from them. Post-race interviews coming on up. Zangel, I don't know if you can at them. Just tell them to join, but...
Oh, of course, yeah.
They should know the
Let me
drill.
let them know. I almost added Jose. That would have looked like quite a shot, even though it was not. Okay, at Lawrence, at P-Tom, at Forzan. Let's get him on
Lawrence
here.
was in the Ferrari tonight, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I mean, this is... Every single GP comes down to it like this. Every GP comes down to the last lap, the last corner, and they're always so close. And that's why I say, you know, this event brings everybody's best, and worse sometimes. because you just want to win it so badly. And you know, in the last few seasons we've had low attendance, and last season we missed out, but we brought it back, and this is how it should be: 20 drivers, full-on qualifying event, and a clenching final, you know, finish, you know, to the line is exactly what we want. So.
And there we go. There's Forza and B-Tom just waiting on Lawrence now.
Sweet. Give us a moment. See, we'll start with Lawrence if he joins up. Give him a moment. I'm out of breath as much as maybe the drivers are.
I can imagine.
But we're going to start with P3 in the Ferrari. Leading on the last lap, leading into the final corner, coming up short. You went right when maybe you should have went left.
No,
I don't know.
I don't think that was the issue. I tried to do a switchback and I just got blocked past, so that took me right out of it last corner. I'm just annoyed because I'm going to try to say this without sounding like the biggest crybaby bitch imaginable. I was fighting my PC all the sessions. I just watched back my last lap. I had like 5 screen tears through that. And literally, I was opposite lock at 7 because my wheel like basically froze on me for like a split second. So going through a flat out corner, I have to lift or brake because my wheel is trying to disconnect mid-corner. I'm just so beside myself because I think I should have been able to win that. And it just, what do you do? What do you do there? I don't have answers.
I feel that 100% because I've come down in that literally same situation as you and came up short. And for the GP, your first one, and you literally prime position. You looked like you were gonna take it, and then B-Tom gets in your DRS on the final, the final opportunity. You had a lot of battery. I mean, just talk us through that final, if you remember, like how going through that, what's the mindset there? Where did you want to be leading? Did you want the gap? Did you see his gap?
I was watching that gap. I thought I had the DRS still broken going into, was it 9-10, basically S2. I think he got in for the second straight, and then God, I don't know. I'm trying to, like I said, try not to sound like a dick. I was fighting my own equipment, man. I wasn't fighting B-Tom or Edmund. I was fighting my PC. I'm not trying to denigrate them. They did a good job. They beat me in the end, but I wasn't fighting them. I was fighting my PC, and the PC beat me. I don't feel like I lost. On track, I lost because of this damn thing to the beside me. I don't know how else to put it. I'm so frustrated myself for that, for how that played out. That's what really sucks. I don't want to say bad of them. That is what I truly think right now. I got killed by my own PC. That's what it feels like. I should upload that last lap just to show how bad it was. Because I think going through 19 and 20, I had another freeze right as I turned in, so I couldn't make the apex. Lost 2/10. That might have been the difference. I really, really don't try to complain about it, but I have no other answer because I don't feel like I lost that. I just lost with the cards I had in my hand.
And I feel for you because I feel the whole tension the entire night. Everybody's trying to win it, and I know the pressure of tonight and how much the race means. And in that final corner is definitely rough. I don't really have much words to say for that.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but
no. My only thing I was just going to ask, this is your first TCR Grand Prix. I just wanted to ask how you like the format, difficulties, anything that you kind of thought initially through going through, that whole qualifying stint and then to the 50%. How'd you like it? How'd you cope with it?
I mean, the format was fine enough to me. I should have just had a counter for how many times this thing next to me wanted to act up. Excuse me. I think it would have been more fun if I just didn't have the issues. But you can't have everything in life, and can't have this one tonight. I guess that's how it is. Sucks, but I think something told me, or something said, you aren't having this one tonight, and how it played out is how it played out. So that's how it is. Sorry, I don't have the better words to describe what I'm feeling right now, but that's where I'm at. I mean, well done to B-Tom, well done to Edvin. Damn well wish I could have beat him. It was damn well close. So, you make of that what you will.
Yeah. Well, I'd say still good result, but not the one you wanted. Zionical, any final questions for Lawrence?
Yeah, Laura, first I want to say hell of a job.
Yeah.
Know you were fighting the PC and still fighting with the absolute top of the pack the entire time. I guess I don't want to ask too much about the technical side of it since I know you were struggling with some screen tearing, but I guess strategically, and not really that there was any other decision you could have made here, but I guess I was wondering how you guys were feeling that front three, you, Forzan, and Silent, once that safety car came out at the end and gave Jose a chance to run at you guys on the softs. I thought that would maybe throw a wrench in the race in terms of you guys cruising at the front, and it definitely looked like it changed things up a bit, to say the least.
For sure. No, I trusted Forzan, Edvin. I trusted him. I trusted Hector, Silent. I trusted them in line with me, and I think that's how we tried to play it, is we trusted all of each other well enough to where if we got to lap 24, 25, we were going to be in a good position. I think that definitely with that safety car threw a wrench in the things. We still tried to sort of, how would I say, is try to put ourselves in the best position possible at the end. I think personally for me in that situation, I knew it was going to take something kind of extraordinary to be able to get to the lead. I mean, I could maintain position, but anytime I need to push at high speed, I didn't know if my wheel would let me turn in properly or not. So I think that extraordinary circumstances happened even with that safety car, and well, the rest is how it played out, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you did a hell of a job, circumstances acknowledged, and still a good podium for sure, even if you didn't quite get the result you were hoping for, unfortunately.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I apologize if I sound, well, frankly, like a bitch.
You should, though. You absolutely should, though.
It happened. You're right.
You should. For tonight, you definitely should. I mean, that's how it should be. So I don't think anyone's complaining there, but good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll move on to P2. Forzan coming up short as well. Did great through the whole qualifying sequence, grabbing a bunch of points. He had control of the race all throughout. I just want to firstly ask, which kind of put you in the position to lose it, was the incident you had with Jose out of the exit of the first sector, S section. Yeah, it seems like you maybe tapped the back of him, and that's what caused him to spin. It allowed you to lose some time, and the whole jumbling of positions up front. Just talk us through that incident a little bit with Jose.
Yeah, I mean, I was right behind him going through the first sector, and then he hit the wall a little, and then he recovered pretty quickly, and then he also hit the curb on the inside coming out of the final corner, out of the S section, and I was right behind him, so I just didn't have time to react for when he had the moment and slow down a little. So I mean, it's unfortunate, of course, but you know, I was trying to stick close to him, and yeah, just didn't react enough and fast enough. So, I mean, it's my fault, but you know, things like this happen.
Did you pick up any damage from that incident, or were you clean?
I don't know. I never checked because I was just full on focusing on catching B-Farm again.
And after that happened, how many laps do you have left around?
That was on the penultimate lap, so I had 1 lap to catch B-Farm and Lawrence.
Okay. And at what point, because it seemed like at the most beginning of the race, you and others were kind of conserving the battery. Let's say that, you know, doesn't happen, that incident coming down. What was the mindset of, you know, should you be leading, should you not be leading?
Are you talking before or after the pit stop now?
After the pit stop, but more towards right before that incident, and even after the incident with Jose, you know, coming through, you know, you were leading for most of it, and then that incident happens, and then you find yourself, you know, kind of behind, then trying to catch up. So, you know, how's that sequence be?
I mean, I'm not really sure what to say. Like, this is the thing I don't like about the later F1 games. Like, you just literally stay in a DRS train, save your battery, and the guy in front just literally has no chance to defend. It's not really racing for me, but, you know, it's the way the game is, and, yeah, it just didn't go my way today.
There you go. And Zyanical, any questions for Forzan?
No, I don't think so. Just I'd say, you know, still a good race to get back that P2 once the incident happened, and yeah, it was definitely. I could see how that conservation game for the first 20 laps or so could get a bit boring, and yeah, just unfortunate that there was so much chaos with the PC issues and the incident. Once we were finally able to get some real racing in those last few laps.
Yeah, I'm just angry that the safety car came out, because I'm pretty sure I had the win in the bag before. Because I felt that was quicker overall than Lawrence and Silent all throughout the race, so I'm pretty sure once I got that undercut, they were probably not going to be able to catch me. But, you know, you never know, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm just super mad at myself for losing traction out of the final corner. Otherwise, I would have gotten B-Farm.
Yeah, that race to the line was intense, and yeah, I think I'm with you on the safety car time, and that was especially brutal for you because that undercut was good, and Lawrence and Silent had gotten split up in the pits, so there wouldn't have been any sort of DRS games, I don't think, to try and catch up either. So unfortunate, but still good to go back and snag P2 after the incidents. Good race for them.
Alright, we will move on to the man of the hour race winner, claiming his 3rd TCR Grand Prix win, 5-time Platinum Class champion, B-Tom, reserving here in the Williams here tonight, starting way down the order, did an amazing opening lap to grab 8 positions, I think, through the first lap. I'd love to see that. And that last few laps ultimately went exactly your way. You were in prime position, and you got it over 900ths to claim the win. Talk us through that one. I mean, and also, how does this one rank as far as some of your previous TCR wins? Because I'd say this one has to feel somewhat good after getting knocked out in qualifying. The first time that's happened to you in the GP format. Great opening lap. You're right up there. And it just all fell into your lap the last, 2 laps.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 hours have been a roller coaster of emotions for sure. It started out fairly well. I mean, I qualified P3 in the first heat race, so I was like, okay, I'm not as terrible as I thought. But then I just had no pace in the 5-lapper, and then it was more of a game in the second one. And then having that crash to the chicane, I just slightly clipped the wall in the entry, which put me a bit offline for the exit. And then as I got to full throttle, I hit overtake and the car just snapped immediately. And there was no saving it. It was just a one-way street into the wall. So I was pretty upset about that. But I know that this track is always one that creates crazy races with all the DRS zones and just the fact that the walls are quite close pretty much everywhere. So certainly wasn't expecting to win, but I thought at least top 5 was still possible. So going into the race, I decided it was best to start in the softs, try and get past some of the people, and just naturally a bit quicker than as soon as possible, and then just try and extend this off as long as I could in hopes of a safety car. And that pretty much worked out perfectly. Towards the end of the set, I was having a bit of a battle with Jose. I think he knew he had a bit more pace than me as his mediums were starting to become a bit faster than the softs. But I didn't want to lose too much track position, so I tried to keep him back until the point where it was pointless, because I'd just be holding everyone up. And then from that point onwards, I just tried to stay in his DRS, and thankfully the safety car came out pretty much right as I needed to pit, because the softs were getting pretty terrible. And then from that point onwards, I was going to try and follow Jose through, because I knew he was going to be super quick on the soft. But at the same time, I was trying to be a bit stingy with my ERS for the last few laps. But it didn't work out as I expected, so I ended up like getting dropped immediately and had to blow through half my ERS just to catch back up. And then from that point onwards, I was just kind of sitting back because I didn't want to take any risks. Just because everyone's like super close together, and if you have like one moment you start to run, which a couple people had throughout the race, and like what happened with Jose and Forza, then you could easily DNF or lose all the time. So I was lucky again with Forza and then Jose having their incident. It's a bit of a shame that Jose got a DNF. It was, such a tiny mistake, but because Forza was so close, there was nothing either driver could have done. And then knowing that, well, in hindsight, that Lawrence had his issues, it was like the third golden ticket I had. So really unfortunate for him, but it was like pretty much everything came together for me with the strategy, the incident between Forza and Jose, and then Lawrence's issues. So it did feel pretty good crossing the line and being P1. Even though I know a lot of luck played into it, but I also had my fair share of bad luck over the past 2 seasons, especially with the safety car timing. So yeah, very, very happy to have won. And of course, a shame for Lawrence that he had his PC issues and wheel issues. It's impressive that he still managed to finish on the podium despite that, because I was watching his onboard that he sent in the chat until the last lap, and it's horrendous. Like, he's not exaggerating at all. If anything, I think what he said is a bit of an understatement. So, all things considered, he's handled having to deal with all that pretty well, both driving wise and outside of the race, just being mature about the whole situation. So, props to Forza and Lawrence for the podium. It's a shame for Jose that he DNF'd after having pretty much he going on a tear in that final stint. But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess.
And I know you've had a lot of wins in the past, a lot of good ones at that. But how would you rank this one overall, or maybe out of the other GP wins that you've gotten?
I think in terms of satisfaction, this one's definitely up there. In terms of like my actual driving, I don't think it's quite as high. There are definitely races where I've driven better and not won. And there's races where I have won and driven quite a bit better, but considering that the results pretty much came out of nowhere and everything came together for it to work out, I would still rank it quite highly, especially since it was a GP win, which always holds a bit more weight. But I think had I put in practice for this race, and I probably would have ranked it higher because it would have been, I think, significantly easier to be in that conversation from the start rather than having 3 miracles happen. So I would say top 10, but not top 5 overall.
Can I just add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I find it funny that you took both this win because Lawrence had PC issues and last week I had PC issues. So whenever we're having PC issues, you should just race, man.
Yeah, I guess that should just be every week then.
And
He's going to sabotage our PCs now, right?
Yeah, B-Farm's just going to be sitting there like as soon as he sees something about PC issues in the chat, okay, I'm racing.
It's like the whole like science wins the race, Russell crashes thing. You guys have a PC issue, I win.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Great.
But
So, Nicole, if you had any questions.
I don't know if I have a question necessarily. I'd just say, definitely I think you did get fortunate, like you said, but I also don't think every driver would have taken advantage like that. And, even once you did get a little lucky, I don't necessarily think it was obvious that you were going to be able to take it. So, a good win, some great racing, came down to the final corner, and I think it really could have been any of the top 5 after that safety car restart. So, good job on the win.
Thank you.
All right, well, that will conclude the post-race interviews, and that will conclude another TCR Grand Prix in the books. It's been a little while since we had a 20-driver TCR GP, but the 9th seasonal definitely did deliver tonight, and I can't wait for the next one next season on the new game. That was lots of excitement all throughout tonight. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and don't forget, leave a like, comment, and share this out. Let's try and get this algorithm to work on this one, because it definitely would be great. I just want to say also thanks Zionicle for doing the co-coms with me, because I could not do that just by myself, so I appreciate that. And we will be back next week for the Chinese Grand Prix, same time, same place. And, another one in the books. Any final words, Nicole?
I think one of the most intense races I've ever seen in TCR, and I'm excited to come back next week. Hopefully we get a similar show. I'm excited to see China.
Me too. Both in F1 and in TCR. So it's China next week, and so there we go. There you have it, and check out everything in the description for more information about TCR. Join our Discord where we are the most active. Tomorrow we're doing iRacing IndyCar. You can sign up for that. All the information on the website. From Zionicle to myself, C. Freeze, everyone back at TCR, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, it's been a pleasure.